The end of petrodollar has just begun. Now, China will be the next superpower of the world in sense of a lot of things. Now, what if I told you the system that made the US the world's financial king for decades is starting just to crack, and a new power is rising fast, and that's China. Not with the tanks, not with the war, but with currency, trade, and control. So, is this the end of petrodollar and the beginning of China-led world? We're gonna break down step by step everything, how the world is gonna change and China is gonna dominate this new century. So to understand this, first we have to understand what is petrodollar. So you need to understand the system. So after the 1970s, the United States made a deal with major oil producers. Oil would be priced and traded in US dollars only. That meant every country needed dollars to buy oil. Demand for the dollar skyrocketed. The US gained massive global influence. So this system became known as the petrodollar system from 1970s. That means US was controlling the currency and also controlling the world economy. Now, what's changing right now in 2026? So fast that we are not able to even catch that. Now, fast forward today from 1970s to today. Something unusual is happening right now. As everyone knows, Iran war. Because of that, everything is just collapsing. Now, countries are probably start trade oil in other currencies like Chinese local currency, reduce dependence on the dollar, build alternative financial systems. Now, and one country is leading this shift. And everyone knows that. And if you don't know, you can hear the name, is China. One and only, just China. That's the next superpower that everyone is just recognizing. China's strategy is very simple. Is to make the Chinese local currency, yuan, the global currency. Now, China isn't trying to replace the dollar overnight. It's playing a long game, but this game is very effective. So here's how. Number one, oil deals in yuan. Countries are now making deals using Chinese local currency, that is yuan, especially between China, Middle Eastern oil exporters. Now, with that trade power, China is the largest trading partner for many countries. That means if you trade with China, you may start using its currency. That's very simple. And now, the global projects. Through massive infrastructures investments like the Belts, Roads Initiative, China is funding countries building influences, expanding financial reach on the local currency, Chinese yuan. Now, this isn't a loud power. This is a silent expansion across the globe. Let's break this down. Is the petrodollar really ending? And here's the truth. The petrodollar is not dead yet. Of course, it'll not be dead, but it'll decline to probably 60-70% possible. Now, but it's no longer untouchable, this petrodollar. The US dollar is still the world's dominant currency and the reserve currency for today, 2026. Now, used in the most global trades, backed by the strong financial systems. But for the first time in decades, there is real competition, and that's a Chinese yuan. Now, from today, probably to 5 years from now, the world will look absolutely different. Instead of buying US dollars, now the countries will store Chinese yuan. Now, this system will not just get into effect immediately overnight. This will take probably 5 years and even a decade to come into play fully 100%. So that means the petrodollar is not on a total collapse right now. It's a shift, a smooth, powerful shift. So is the China this new superpower? The answer is yes. Now, it's a big concern to a lot of countries right now. Is China already the world's top superpower? And some people say no, some people say yes. Now, on a nutshell, China is expanding its expansion around the globe by funding the countries for the infrastructure, to develop the countries, to develop the cities, roads, a lot of stuff. And now everyone trades with China. That's the biggest thing. Every country in the world trades with China. And now the problem here is when everyone trades with China, China has put a bar right there. You have to trade in a Chinese yuan. Now, when that comes into play, what comes? The Chinese yuan becomes more and more powerful. So a lot of countries trade with China than any other country because China is the producer of the world's the most products. Now, China has massive manufacturing power, like everyone knows, growing global influence in this 2026, and a rising currency. This currency is becoming just powerful and powerful every single month and year, but also challenges something different: debts issues, slower economic growth, global trust concerns. Now, China isn't dominating, but it's positioning right now in this 2026. With this war happening in Iran between America and Iran, China is taking a big advantage. It's just buying energy like anything, just buying oil in millions and millions of barrels, and it's just probably want to store in billions of barrels. So a source says that China is about to store 2 billion barrels of oil in their storage. That's crazy. It means that something big is really shifting. Now, what this exactly means for us. So this isn't just politics. It is related to a lot of stuff because something big is going to happen and China is really protecting their national interests. That means they're trying to make the country really strong while the world is collapsing on the other side. Now, a changing financial system means no winners, no risk, and new opportunities. Now, a lot of people, of course, they will look for new opportunities. Even America will look for new opportunities. Like recently the news came, Trump says that we have to get along with China and it's very important. So what that means exactly? That means they don't want to lose the important big partner. That is China. Now, when system shifts, smart people adapt very early. Now, the petrodollar builds a global empire. It builded that, but no system lasts forever. Now, the world is entering into a new phase, as I told you, into Chinese yuan, and the world power is just changing. Of course, China is one of the most powerful country after, well, is the second most powerful country after United States. But now with these wars and all the sanctions putting on China and Iran, China is not just respecting those sanctions anymore. China is just drawing the line that your sanctions are not going to work here and your rules are not going to work here anymore because we have our own rules and we will write the new law of this globe. So the question is not, is China taking over? The real question is, are you or are we paying attention to this shift? Because the biggest opportunities always come when the world is changing.